Welcome to Region 2. His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali led his entire cabinet to this region on their very first cabinet outreach. Today, Community Talk is back in the region to talk with citizens about those outreaches, vaccination drives, COVID relief, flood relief, and all the plans and programs that government has implemented in their just over 1 year in office. I'm here in Westbury, Essequibo Coast with Neville Bromell, a resident and also a farmer. So before we get into all the details about farming, flood relief and things like that, were you able to attend any of the meetings during the President's Cabinet outreach?
Yes, sir.
Which meeting did you attend?
The one at Anna Regina Seat Party Band.
Share your thoughts on that meeting, what the President said, and probably some of the reactions of some of the citizens who were there at that meeting.
Some of the words the President used was really correct. And farmer understand what he said and give opinion and views of what he said.
Mr. Bromell, who is also a rice farmer, was seriously affected by recent flooding, losing 39 acres of rice. However, he benefited from the Ministry of Agriculture's flood relief program.
In the first stage, they assisted a bag of paddy per acre with the promise by the Agriculture Minister that they can do some research to clean up some trench, condemn some tube that we get what caused the flood.
We're now in the Lower Pomeroon, in the Marlborough area, and I'm going to talk to one of the medium-scale farmers who took some losses during the heavy rainy period, where farmers across the country experience major losses to their crops, livestock, and things like that. So Dexter, good day, and tell us a bit about your farm and what you had here before the flood happened.
I had basically bananas and plantains that I planted. Very few vines, and that's what I lost most, because all the bananas, in fact the flood took the vines away for us, and I was battling to keep the suckers alive, but eventually the majority, just a few on the high dams remain.
You have cleared some of the land and replanted some of your banana and plantain. Tell us a bit about the flood relief and what it has helped you to get done here.
I'm thankful for the flood relief because it's a plus in my way. Without it, I would have had less to operate with. But I'm grateful that the government did consider. Of course, we were looking for more, but we have to be thankful because we didn't earn it. And I'm thankful that it has helped me to put some work into the farm and to get things restarted. I'm grateful.
The National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute, they operate in the region. Yeah. Have they been helping you in terms of diseases in relation to any of your crops before and after the floods?
Well, before the floods, I had contact with NARI. I know the work is big for them. To be honest, they cannot visit every farm maybe within a year because it takes time and energy, but they have been giving us advice. Say, well, this is what happened. For example, I had some death rates, and they were telling me what to do. Born, cut, and I've been following that. So they have been instrumental in helping the farmers, but I know that they couldn't touch every farm, but they are doing a good job.
Now, earlier we spoke about coca being put in this area here, a little closer to your farm. Tell us a bit about that.
Oh, almost a year I've been asking the government to assist me because I needed a coca because I'm close to the canal and I can get quicker draft. Now, where I am here now, this water has to travel at least a mile and plus to get to the front of the river. But here I'm at the canal, it's closer. And I've been fortunate to get a coca from the government, so it's assisting me with drainage, and I'm very thankful because this is faster action.
I know some farmers would have experienced the flood. Some people might say, well, you know what, I'll give up on it. Are you encouraged to continue in the agriculture sector with the assistance government is giving you? NARI is assisting. You got a new coca to drain your land a little easier. Are you encouraged to continue in the agricultural sector?
I'm a farmer by nature, and I love farming. I know that's where the food comes from. And I plan to continue farming, and I'm thankful for the encouragement, the help that I've gotten from the government. And I know as time goes by, we will receive more. So everything doesn't come in one day, but little by little, and we are plenty. So the government has to serve in different areas. We can't look at one people all the time.
We're talking to Mr. Roy Shamlal, a rice farmer in the community. I'm pretty sure you've had some losses in relation to the flooding that would have happened. A lot of persons would have applied for flood relief and things like that. Did you apply?
No, I did not apply.
So you were one of those persons who would reinvest on their own into your next crop?
Yes.
Besides that, do you think it was a good idea for government to assist some of those farmers who probably can't reinvest on their own, given that they would have suffered some losses?
Yes. Some of them really invested all they had into the thing, and with the flood, they almost lost everything. So I without the help from the government, I couldn't see how they would get back onto the land.
In relation to the pandemic, were you able to benefit from the COVID cash grant?
Yes, well, the family benefit.
Were you able to attend any of the meetings during the cabinet outreach?
Yes, I attended the one at Beth Success where Minister Teixeira was the main speaker.
Okay. So tell me a bit about your thoughts on what she said, probably some of the issues the farmers or residents raised that you remember, and, the response that they got.
Well, they raise most things personal. Some with NIS and other things. But she really answered them to the point, and I feel they were satisfied with the response they got from her.
I think also that the finance minister had some NIS persons in the region too to probably look into their matters also. So they would have probably been able to deal with some of those personal issues that they were having, during the cabinet outreach.
Well, maybe they asked to see her on a personal thing. So maybe whatever they discussed, she did what she had to do and direct them to the minister, or took the thing to put to the minister. I don't know really.
I'm in Martindale in the Lower Pomeroon talking to Junior Gunga, a farmer who would have experienced damages during the flooding period. So Junior, tell us a bit about what it was like during that flooding period there where the rain fell, the water was on the land for a pretty long time.
Yeah, good morning. Well, it's 25 years I'm doing farming actually in this area here. And this is the biggest flood that you ever encounter within the period of doing farming. And well, for me and people in this area here, the flood would have lasted on my land 25 days stagnant water. No going down, well, it didn't rainfall, it keep rising. But after 25 days, it start retreat back to the river, we get some drop. Well, during that period, I will tell you, we come visit the farm just looking at the crops them perishing and the pear plants them most, they will have died out. Because pears a man, can't really take the water. And we lose, for me personally, I lose over 100 and something pears. Well, about 80 of those been bearing trees. And the planting and the banana and the cassava, we do like a inner crop in between the permanent crop. All of that you could see, they die out. From the flood up to now is now, as I tell you yesterday, I started doing some cleaning back of the farm with the intention, going back and do some planting.
You would have gotten some relief from the government to help get you back to the farm. Persons might say it's not a lot. Was it able to get you anything to help you get back to where you are now? Because just behind us here, a portion of the farm is cleaned up and back in some kind of production. We just went to a spot there where you're about to clean and replant. Was that relief any help to you?
I have received a cash grant from the government, and it's very beneficial to me in getting the farm back cleaned up, because as we went there just now, there's one area that we did yesterday, and the money that we use, this is very spray, You're able to buy some chemical and spray and everything, but we got a lot more to do. But whatever we get from the government, we are very thankful for it, because it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah. You showed me a canal earlier. You said the government put that in. How is that helping you as a farmer?
Well, they're helping a lot for the savanna water. That canal at the back, they designed to drain the excess water that come from the savanna. That you call it like the savanna defense. Because the government dig the canal and raise it down, protecting the farmland from being flooded from the savanna water. So without the canal being digged there and maintenance, it's not just the river dam that overflow and the rainfall. Water would have been affecting us from the savanna. So this is very important.
I'm now here with Sheikh Yusuf, a farmer from Jacklow, Upper Pomeroon. Now, Sheikh, tell me a bit about the flooding and what happened to your land when the water came.
When the water came, it destroyed quite a number of crops. Crops like plantain, banana, cassava, edu, peppers, karela, and other vegetables, because I also had some pumpkin. And it really did devastate the farm.
Now that you're about to start back, were you able, or to get the land back into production, I should say, were you able to get any help from the government?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be given a cash grant from the government.
Right. So now that you have that cash grant, as we see, you prepared some land. We have some peppers and balanji and stuff that you've replanted. What is the hindrance now for you moving forward now that you've restarted?
The main problem here now for moving forward is workforce, labor, because what would happen is that lots of young people do not want to go into agriculture. I'm encouraging all of those young people to remember that agriculture produces food, and food is among one of the basic things that we need for survival. We also in agriculture give ourselves, our country, and the world at large food security, and that is very important.
Region 2 residents also spoke with Community Talk cameras about the recently concluded cabinet outreach and how they felt about meeting their elected representatives.
The minister gave us a fair chance to ask whatever question we want to ask, and whatever problem you have in the area, we can speak it out, and he would address it, and he would forward it to Georgetown, and within a short period of time, he would get them back to us. I raised an issue that we want some more street lights, especially when you're coming in from the main road. There is a very dark area. We have some the solar lights, but they are not very bright, and it's a very vulnerable area in the night. And the minister promised us 3 lights. But eventually, somebody from Public Works was here yesterday, and he promised us that the minister he would give us 4 lights instead of 3.
This is Minister Indar.
Yes, Minister Indar was at this meeting here.
I'm now here with Ms. Featherson, another Westbury resident who was at the meeting with His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali at the GRPA Rice Paddy Bond. So what were some of the issues you raised with the President?
Well, first of all, I raised the issue about the play park in Westbury here. I asked the President if he could replace some things in the play park like scissors, skaters, swingers. And if he probably can't do that, if he could just put a post office or outpost here. Because as you could see, the play park there is bush and share. Donkey and cows taking it over. I'm so glad to meet them here in Dartmouth. Yeah, I was so glad, so I don't have to travel all the way to Georgetown.
I happened to attend the President at Supanam. I also attend a meeting in Pomona by the ball field. There was Minister Rupson Ben and Minister Anand Prasad. Well, for me, I was there for the 1 year that this government come in power. They're doing a lot of things for the people in Guyana. Not only Yessico, but throughout. And for this outreach, it showed that everybody enforced about everything now.
I attended 2 meetings, one with Minister Anand Prasad at Defiance Playground and one with Minister Edghill at Queenstown. The citizens are very happy for those outreaches, and I think the ministry should do more often visits like that so the residents, they can get a first hand listening to the residents, that's what's going on.
I went at Area Hall by Arnold Sankar, outpost there, and I met with Mr. Hamilton. He had a nice opening with us, and the meeting was very good for the convenience of the people in our village.
Well, actually, the one at Supernam was very interesting because the president and the ministers, they spoke about things that they have done within the period of the 1 year. And they entertained complaints from persons in that area. Person may have the personal problem, and they may have problems with issues in the district. Right. Well, the persons who have personal problems, the other young lady there, you go to that young lady, I cannot remember her name, but she would direct you to who you have to go to. And persons who have the district problem, they speak on the microphone, and then some action was taken immediately based on instruction of the president and other persons who was there.
Our messages were fruitful. At least she gave us promises, and we're looking forward for the promises. And grateful and thankful for it.
The cabinet outreach was wonderful, and at least everybody get to hear their view, so it was good. I attend right in Johanna Cecilia with the housing minister. For the time they come, it was very short but successful.
The Ministry of Public Works, through the Transport and Harbours Department, announced an additional and later daily departure from both Supernam and Parika will be available commencing Friday, September 17, 2021. The latest departure of each day would be at 18 hours or 6:30 p.m. The daily schedule will be as follows. The first boat leaves at 5 a.m. The second boat between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The third boat, 4 p.m. or 16 hours. The last boat departs at 18 hours or 6:30 p.m. This is a direct response to the request of the traveling public and will facilitate both business and individuals.
You have a schedule, but then it may not be enough. So any additional transportation is worthy. It's a good venture.
It is something very, very good, because what happened is that lots of the produce that are being produced in Pomeroon cannot be consumed within the region. So lots of time, these produce are carried to Georgetown because of the market. And with the addition of that extra ferry, we very much welcome it.
That was a very brilliant idea, and we here in Essequibo, we're so happy for that, because you're leaving 5 o'clock, you can't do the amount of things we get back on the 4 o'clock boat. Like if you want to go up with your vehicle, you can go and have a chance to come back at least with the 6:30 boat.
I appreciate it, yes, for the people who travel with the vehicles, especially the farmers. This is farming crop, right? This is the time when paddy traverse the coast to Georgetown, West Coast, and elsewhere, right? That's very nice to having an extra trip.
In a bid to aid the crime-fighting effort, government made available 50 vehicles to the Guyana Police Force. 2 of those vehicles have been assigned to Region 2. We're now going to talk with ASP Thomas, the second officer in charge of the region, as he gives us an idea of how these vehicles will help the crime-fighting effort. ASP Thomas, tell us how these vehicles will aid your efforts in the region.
Well, I must say that it will aid the effort in the region to fight crime. And I am glad that we have 2 vehicles so that we could deal with reports the way it had to be dealt with.
Now, before these vehicles came on stream, how hard was it for you and your officers to get to, let's say, foreign regions, off-road areas?
It was very much difficult to get there because we did not have the types of vehicle to go off-road. Seeing that we have the vehicle now that we could go there off-road, we will go the off-road to ensure that crime is solved in those areas.
That's it for this episode of Community Talk Region 2. Until next time, I'm Cordell Jones saying bye for now.